Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm sorry if I still haven't made a review for Star Wars. I still sadly haven't seen it yet, and I do feel genuinely bad for not making a review or have not even seen it yet. I don't think I'm gonna see it until this Thursday, really. So please be more patient for that. But till then, to keep you satisfied, because I haven't uploaded in like almost 2 weeks at this point. I just thought I'm gonna make not really a review or anything like that. I'm doing a list of, well, basically for the next year of movies. My most anticipated, so of course you've seen the title, of course. This is my top 10 most anticipated movies of next year, and the only movie you won't see on this list, due to my own anticipation, is probably Batman v Superman. It's just like, I really don't think that movie will be good. I'm not anticipating that movie all that much. I really don't think it's going to be that great. It just looks like a great big recipe for a disaster. That's like one dishonorable mention, even though I probably will end up seeing it. But it's like, it's a movie I won't advocaatly go into it with a good attitude. But with all that said, before I make my list, of course, before I make my top 10, I have two honorable mentions, and those two are Zootopia. That looks genuinely interesting, and I can't wait for that. Looks like a really interesting, fascinating concept. I'm like, cool, kind of like this, making this future like type of world with everyone's pretty much an animal, all right. I'm like, cool, that looks cool. I'm like, alright, that looks interesting. That looks cute. I might want to say that. And the second one is Independence Day. Yes, I cannot believe I'm saying that, but I'm now kind of like, you know, I'm being a bit more optimistic for that now. But here it is. I know it was like 2.5 minutes to get into this. Here's my official top 10 most anticipated movies for next year. Number 10. I have the list right here and, of course, on my computer, which is this. Number 10 for me is Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad looks somewhat promising, even though it's going to be within the DC universe. And that, of course, it will have Batman for Batman v Superman in this, because it showed him in the trailer, of course. But what makes me a bit more optimistic about this movie is that it is the idea of all this coming together, and of course, I'm like, it's more of like the more optimistic side of DC. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll see this. I'm like, it actually looks interesting. The story looks fascinating. Like, the Suicide Squad is like a group of mercenaries who are in jail like that. It's like for them to undergain their own freedom or something like that. They have to go on missions, and that they have to be advocaatly, you know, for the death. And the jail's like very much like, you know, that's not their fault. That's their fault. They chose to do this. It's up to them, essentially. And that's like the concept. And while I'm not too excited for Jared Leto as a Joker, even though I do think he looks great, I'm not entirely sure of him. But it's like, but the cast looks good. It looks Margot Robbie, Will Smith. Will Smith is Deadshot. Margot Robbie as God, I'm so sorry. As all the certain characters in this movie, I'm like, that looks really interesting. It's like more, in my opinion, more optimistic side of DC. I'm like, okay, that actually looks interesting. I want to see that. I generally am interested of this movie, and as a whole, I'm just like, okay, cool. So yeah, number 10. Oh, that would be definitely of Suicide Squad for me. My number 9 most anticipated movie of next year is The Jungle Book. I genuinely am interested in this. I should have made it a video on this when this came out. I'm just like, oh, why didn't I do that? Because it is like at the time when I saw this trailer, I'm like, this looks stupid. But it's like I remember to myself, I'm like, I really did like the concept, and I loved the story in the book by Rudyard Kipling. I'm like, that's just my book, and that's really interesting, and I loved it. And I don't love, but I really do enjoy Disney's interpretation of it. That was quite cute. It was well done. It's a great, memorable movie from Disney. I remember seeing it as a kid. And the director, Jon Favreau, I'm like, yeah, he's directed Iron Man and Elf, which I really love both. Granted, Iron Man 2 is not that great, but whatever. But it's like the visual style and tone looks genuinely interesting. In my opinion, it looks genuinely interesting. It looks, for me, it looks like a bit more of the correct version of Tarzan, the new Tarzan movie that's coming out next year. Looks, which in my opinion looks awful. But it's like I'm genuinely interested, and the cast looks great. It's like you have Idris Elba in this movie. I'm just like, yeah, he's awesome. Shere Khan, I'm like, oh yeah, he has a voice for that. Christopher Walken as King Louis. I'm like, that sounds hysterical. Who doesn't want to see that? Bill Murray as Baloo. I'm like, that's just funny. I'm like, that. I'm just cracking up just thinking about that. And Scarlett Johansson as Khan's voice, like especially when you first hear her voice in that trailer, I'm just like, oh, there's a reason why I love her. There's that exceptional voice of hers, and the tone looks good. It looks like it's a bit more serious, but I really hope it's going to be a bit of a mix in the movie. It's not going to be too serious, but hopefully not too silly. It's kind of a good. I'm hoping it has a good balance. And in the end, I'm just really eagerly anticipating this movie, for especially it has a solid cast and a great director, and a genuinely good trailer to really get me into this. And nothing more I can say than the Jungle Book really did get me invested for what I needed to address for me to get into it. And number 8 for me is going to be The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And if you don't know what this is essentially not entirely a prequel, but is essentially an alternate point within the Harry Potter universe. It's essentially like in the mid to late 20s of this character played by Eddie Redmayne in the trailer. Eddie Redmayne, just getting off an Oscar last year in Theory of Everything, so you really can tell there's a good reason why they have him, because they want to keep the cast British, and I love that, and he's a great actor. Yes, I know Jupiter's Ascending was terrible. But it's like, this does look so interesting and so fascinating, and the tone for this trailer looks very curious, and the way the trailer goes into more and more of it, you just get more and more sucked in, and you're just like, okay, fascinating, cool, and there's such a cool, interesting lore to this, and I'm like, by the end of it, I'm just like, there's a reason why I fell in love with the Harry Potter movies, and this has the same tone, and it's the same director as about 3 or 4 movies, David Yates. The last 4 Harry Potter movies, and I'm like, great, yeah. I'm like, yes, that's a director who you should have to come back into these movies. I'm like, yes, that gives it more concise, it keeps me more excited for it, and I'm just like, hell yeah, to step into the Harry Potter universe for another chance. I'm like, who wouldn't want to do that? I'm certainly optimistic for it. I'm really excited for it. The tone looks great. The cast looks superb. The director, David Yates, I just remembered. Oh my god, I didn't remember. Oh well. Nevertheless, for me to get another chance to step into the Harry Potter universe without Daniel Radcliffe or Rupert Grint or Maggie Smith or all the original cast from Harry Potter movies, I'm like, yes, I want to see this. This is great. And as a whole, I'm just really optimistic for this, and I'm just truly giddy and happy to see this universe of Harry Potter to step back into it one last time. And I'm like, yes, I'm finally going to see this. Number 7 for me is maybe a weird one, but it's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2, the Sword of Destiny. But I just watched the trailer, I think I watched it yesterday, and I'm just like, this looks ridiculous. But the first one was so freaking amazing by Ang Lee. Even though this isn't the same director, like Ang Lee directed the first, it's like this looks so enjoyably ridiculous. I'm just like, this is the movie where I really want to turn off my brain and have a good old time with it. This could be like the Raid of 26, the Raid Redemption of 2016. We could just completely brain off and have a great big buckload of time of fun with it. Like the title for this sounds silly and campy, but I still have the feeling I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of this. It still feels fun for it. And I'm like, hell yeah, I want to see this. It looks really cool. And they were like the first one was such a huge success and such a big loving fan base for the movie, including myself. I love that movie. It's like, who wouldn't want to see such a ridiculously dumb thriller like this? And yet, I'm like, really, who doesn't really want to see this? It just looks excellent. And, well, excellent for its own necessary way for it. But there's nothing more that I can say for this this thriller and anticipating this movie. I'm just like, you know what? I'm hoping it'll be really, really fun. And it's a movie you don't have to play that much logic to. Who knows? And that's why I'm really, really anticipating this movie. It could be just one hell of a fun movie. And it could be either the guilty movie pleasure of the year, or a terrible movie, or an actually great movie. I don't know for sure, but the trailer makes it look like it's going to be fun. Okay, this video is taking longer than I expected. I'm sorry. Alright, let's straight go through this. And number 6 for me is Kung Fu Panda 3, and really, really interested for this. The trailer, I could discuss in my own video for it. It looks really fun. It looks so cool. The tone, granted, is not going more darker or anything like that, as far as I'm concerned, really. For me, it just looks genuinely interesting. I love the first two Kung Fu Panda movies, and just seeing where this movie is going, the area where this movie is going into, I'm just like, I'm genuinely interested. I am legitimately hooked into this franchise. I love it. If it gets into this movie and ends, then I could hopefully say, then we could have, like I said in the video, that we could have a great animated movie trilogy alongside Toy Story, and hopefully How to Train Your Dragon 3 will be just like that. I really, really do hope that so much, and I'm just really, really anticipating this movie a lot. Number 5 is Captain America Civil War. I'm very much anticipating this movie because the tone of the MCU now is just getting so much cooler and darker, and the Russo brothers are back for this movie, and you're forced essentially to pick what side you're on, like Iron Man's side or Captain America's side, and the trailer has such a great visceral, cool feel to it, and you love the maturity that it's going with. Of course, the Russo brothers was getting off of Winter Soldier, which I loved. I thought that was an excellent improvement over the first Captain America movie. I'm just really, really anticipating this movie. It looks really, really intense. It looks really, really well done, and I'm hoping this will not fail. This is like coming around the same month, I believe, as Batman v Superman, and I hope to God this is better than Batman v Superman, because I want it to be. Nothing more I can say about this one, then I'm just really anticipating this movie. Okay, my 3 most anticipated movies of next year. Here it is, my 3 most anticipated, and it is number 3, Star Wars Rogue One. Now, granted, I haven't seen Force Awakens. I'm still so sorry for that. But it's like, I'm still very, very happy and excited for this. Like, the cast looks great. The tone of Gareth Edwards. I'm coming off of Monster back in 2010 and last year's Godzilla, which I was a very big fan of. I'm like, this looks great. It could be a very dark, very mature, different tone of Star Wars Then more of the lighthearted prequels are really great. I don't know how to describe the originals, but it's like the prequels. This whole nother video. Again, I don't hate the prequels, but it's like this looks like such a different turn for Star Wars. It's gonna be a bit more of a dark, visceral, more intense, more mature side of Star Wars that we get to see. And I feel like the franchise, especially going into this one, is hopefully really taking a big risk and making such a big different tone and change to it. I'm very much eager to see. I'm very much anticipating this movie because it just looks such a cool, new, unique step for the Star Wars, and I feel like there's going to be a real progression of tone in Star Wars for once. And nothing more to say, but it's goddamn Star Wars, and like, who the hell isn't anticipating this movie? And I don't know for sure, but maybe my opinion will change after The Force Awakens. Who knows? But here's hoping. Here's hoping. My number 2 most anticipated movie next year is going to be Deadpool. Hell yes. This movie looks fucking awesome. The trailer is exceptional. Ryan Reynolds is exceptional as Deadpool. Like, I'm just like, Deadpool right now for me, it's just becoming one of my, like, I always loved Marvel, and like, Deadpool was a character who I really couldn't get into, but I wasn't really allowed to read about Deadpool because he was so different than any other Marvel comic when I was reading younger. But this is like a whole new step for it, and it could be the very first, not the first, but it's like the first R-rated Marvel movie since Punisher Warzone, and I'm like really anticipating this movie. It looks really freaking hilarious. I love the character Deadpool. The trailer does a great service of showing who Deadpool really is, and the jokes are exceptional. Just the tone of it all looks so fantastic, and I'm so anticipating this movie so much. And I'm hoping it won't fail, and I'm just like, it's like, do you know how much it means to have a movie about this character properly well done? Is it? I'm really just hoping this doesn't suck, and I'm just by the trailers, I have a great feeling it will be exceptional. In the end, maybe, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I really do hope this will just be one of the best movies of the year. I'm just really eagerly anticipating this movie. And my number 1 most anticipated movie in next year is the next 50 Shades of Grey. No, I'm just kidding, that's just terrible. But my most anticipated movie next year is definitely going to be X-Men Apocalypse. Just, oh my god, this trailer is fucking awesome. The tone looks so much cooler and deeper. You really get to see a big, formidable, real physical and psychological and real genuine threat to the X-Men universe, and them fighting along with humans against Apocalypse. Apocalypse being played by Oscar Isaac. Exceptional. He is so fantastic in the trailer. I'm so excited as a real advocate of the X-Men, of an X-Men fan. Boy, here I love X-Men 2. For Stan and the most recent Days of Future Past. It's like, oh, and Bryan Singer is just back, and Apocalypse comes soon. And if I get to see the movie and it's great, then I'm hoping for the Apocalypse, because that may be the movie I want to see before I die. That sounds ridiculous, but these are just the movies I'm discussing about the most at this point for next year, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed my list here. I'm counting down my 10 to 1, the most anticipated of next year. as you may ask yourselves, why am I doing this point of the year, not next year? Well, I think it should be smart for me to make this just before the year I make. So with this planned, making this video here in December, I'm gonna make my least favorite movies of this year by the end of December, and making my favorite movies of 2015 in early 2015, in 2016, I mean. But in the end, everyone, this is my plans for the future right now, and this is just my video. I really do hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you till then, everyone, with hopefully my review of Star Wars when it finally does come out. I mean, when I finally get a good chance to see it. And in the end, I hope I'll see you within that review. Bye. Thank you very much, as always. Till then, see ya. Bye.